name is Ceron, and I'm a director here at the CWB Association. We get questions here all the time, and one of the questions that we always get is, what is inductance? Now, inductance is a little dial on your machine that you may not know what it does, but it's important to really understand your machine for you, for your shop, and for your good welds. Now, the important thing about inductance to know right off the top is that it only works with GMAW short circuit. So it doesn't work with globular or spray. It only works in the short circuit process, and that's when the wire is actually touching the plate, low voltage, low amperage. One of the important things to remember about inductance is that it doesn't change your primary variables. So that's your amperage and your voltage. Often people think that if I start playing with the knobs on my machine, it's going to change my weld. It's not that drastic. What's happening with inductance is that it's going to change the dynamics of your weld over time during the short circuit process. Now, as we go through this, you're going to see I have a little diagram here where it explains how short circuit works. You may have seen this in school, or you can see it online. Basically, what the blue line is showing you is that the wire comes in, touches the plate, arcs off, comes down, and resets. It'll do that over and over and over again, hundreds of times per second. Every time it does that, it drops a little droplet of material on the plate, and that's your short circuit weld. Now, in the normal world of short circuit with no inductance, every time that happens, you're going to get a little bit of spatter. You don't have much control over the wire, and it sits really high on the plate. Now, inductance changes that. With that little knob, you're able to change the power dynamics of the amperage you're putting in versus the time of the weld. Now, it's important to note that this is not changing your primary variables. Your voltage and your amps stay the same. So as I had it explained to me years ago, it's like tying a piece of string right at the start. You tie it here and you lay out your string, and that's your blue wave. That's your normal short circuit weld. Now, inductance is like taking that string and moving it up. And by dragging that string across, I pull down the curve and extend the weld time, the heat time. Now, the voltage and the amperage haven't changed, but I have changed the curve of how it's going in. As you change your inductance, it'll change where your weld goes depending on how long it sits there. So you can see over here, if I have no inductance, my weld is sitting up on top, and I'll get spatter, and the weld will do the weld. It's not any weaker or stronger, it's just where the weld is sitting. As I increase the inductance, the weld starts to penetrate a little deeper into the material. If I go full inductance, all the way to 10 or whatever setting the machine has, it'll increase it to a point where it'll be as deep as it can go without losing its voltage. If you have any questions for me about welding or anything at CWB, you can always find me on my social media, AskMax75.